Soil and water conservation. Introduction. Soil and water conservation is the application of principles to the solution of soil and water management problems. In this topic, you are going to cover soil erosion, landslides, methods of soil and water conservation, and water harvesting. Maintenance of soil fertility. Soil is very important in agricultural production since it is a source of water, minerals, and provides anchorage to plants which livestock depends on. Farmers must therefore strive to apply all the available principles to the solution of water and soil management problems. Suggested learning activities. Visit a mixed farm where various soil conservation measures can be observed. Make models of soil erosion control measures. Survey and identify the various water harvesting methods used in the local environment. Learners to carry out soil and water conservation work in and out of school. From the list below, identify ways through which soil fertility can be maintained by pressing the button. Below are photographs of various types of water erosion. Match each photograph with its correct name by typing in. Below is a list of types of solifluction erosion. Drag and drop each into the appropriate box. From the list provided below, identify various cultural methods of controlling soil erosion by pressing a button. Below is a list of methods of water harvesting. Drag and drop each into the appropriate box. Identify the types of microcatchment from the list provided below by pressing a button. State whether the following statements are true or false by typing in the correct answers in the boxes provided. Glossary. Bands. These are heaps of soil along the contour constructed to facilitate better erosion control. Contour farming. This is where tillage and planting are done across the hill to create ridge of earth which hold up water and reduce water runoff. Filter strips. These are uncultivated strips measuring at least 1 to 2 meters wide and are normally of grass. Gully erosion. Gully erosion is a type of erosion in an advanced stage of real erosion where channels becomes deeper and wider. Landslide. Group of name for several types of mass movements of soft rock, debris downslope or mountainside. Negarims. These are regular squares made of soil bands 25 centimeters high which concentrate runoff water at lower corner of the square. Real erosion. Removal of soil by water from small but well-defined channels. Splash erosion. Soil splash resulting from the impact of water drops directly on soil particles, dispersing the particles by detaching them. Solifluction erosion. Gravitational flow of surface materials saturated in water. Soil erosion. Soil erosion is the process by which soil is detached, removed, and carried away from one place to another by erosive agents. Serious soil erosion leads to deterioration of soil surface through loss of large volumes of soil. From the list below, identify various ways through which soil loses fertility by pressing a button. Factors influencing rate of erosion. Rates of soil erosion is never constant. It highly depends on land use, extent of group coverage by vegetation, topography, type of soil, and rainfall intensity. For example, there is higher rate of soil erosion where the land is steep than on a flat land. Effects of soil erosion. The effects of soil erosion include loss of top fertile soil, loss of useful microorganisms, deposition of eroded materials in dams and other water reservoirs, and damage to infrastructures such as roads and water pipes. Types of water erosion. Water erosion is the erosion caused by moving water. The types of water erosion include splash erosion, sheet erosion, rill erosion, gully erosion, and riverbank erosion. Solifluction erosion. Solifluction erosion is the gravitational flow of surface materials saturated with water. It is a process through which the earth flows from steep slopes as a result of heavy rainfall. The factors that influence solifluction are the slope of land, the nature of material, climate, vegetation cover, human activities, and forces within the earth crust. Effects of solifluction erosion. Movement of materials during solifluction erosion prevent far-reaching effects, especially along the slopes. Common effects of solifluction erosion include increase in soil fertility where eroded materials are deposited, creation of lakes, damage to property and infrastructures, loss of lives, permanent scars on the landscape, and creation of tourist attraction sites, for example, Whipping Stones in Kakamega district. Landslides. Landslide is a sudden rotational movement of a mass of soil or rock along a more or less semicircular slip surface. It therefore refers to several types of mass movement of rock debris down a slope or mountainside. Types of landslides include slump, debris slide, debris fall, rock fall, and rock slide. Wind erosion. Wind erosion is the result of material movement by wind. It occurs when wind is traveling through the air and it picks objects and materials including soil up. In wind erosion, movement of soil particle is of great distance, especially in places where there are no barriers. Apart from causing erosion, strong wind also damages farm crops and farm buildings. Erosion caused by man's activities. Some man's activities facilitate soil erosion. Some of these activities include deforestation, burning of land, quarrying, mining, and sale of soil. Keeping large herds of livestock, leading to overgrazing, is a major cause of erosion in arid areas. Soil erosion control. Soil erosion has adverse effects on farming, and this has created great concern to the Kenyan government. The government and some non-governmental organizations, NGOs, are creating awareness about soil erosion and identifying appropriate methods to be used in soil and water conservation which are effective and economical. The common soil conservation measures used in Kenya can be classified into two categories, namely biological or cultural control methods and physical or structural control methods. Mention 5 effects of soil erosion by pressing a button. Cultural methods of soil erosion control. Cultural methods of soil erosion control include all recommended farming practices which help to minimize soil erosion. Examples of cultural methods of soil erosion control include grass strip, cover cropping, mulching, grassed waterways, and contour farming. Grass strips. Grass strip involves leaving uncultivated pieces of land along the contours between the cultivated strips about 30 meters wide. Cover cropping. Cover cropping is the practice of establishing crops that spread and cover the ground well. Cover cropping controls erosion by trapping detached soil particles and reducing the speed of surface runoff. Mulching. Mulching is the covering of the soil surface with either organic materials or inorganic materials. Organic mulch increases soil human content upon decomposition, thereby increasing water holding capacity of the soil. Grassed waterways. In grassed waterway, vegetation, especially grasses, is planted or allowed to grow in a depression which acts as a passage for water. Vegetation waterways should not be used as a cattle track or grazing land. Contour farming. Contour farming involves carrying out all farming activities, for example, planting along contour lines. Contour farming reduces real erosion as a result of cultivating land up and down the slope. Strip cropping. Strip cropping is the planting of crops with poor ground cover, for example, maize in alternate strips with crops having good ground cover, for example, sweet potatoes. Physical methods of controlling soil erosion. Physical method of controlling soil erosion involves mechanical construction of farm structures which help to control soil erosion. They are used in areas of moderate slope of between 13 to 55%. These measures include trash lines, stone lines, bunds, cut-off drains, and terraces. Trash lines. Trash lines are heaps of crop residues, for example, wheat straws or maize stalks, arranged along the contour lines. Trash lines trap detached soil particles and reduce speed of surface water flow, thereby controlling soil erosion. Stone lines. Stone lines are heaps of stones arranged along contour lines. The stones help to trap detached soil particles and reduce the speed of surface runoff, thereby lowering rate of soil erosion. Bund construction. Bunds are heaps of soil 1 to 2 meters wide at the base and about 60 centimeters high at the center, placed along the contour lines. Grass should be allowed to grow on the bunds in order to hold soil particles together. For effective control of excess water, farmers are advised to build tie bunds, that is, offshoots of soil above the main bund. The bunds trap soil particles which have already been detached, thereby reducing rate of erosion. Gabion construction. A gabion is a box of galvanized wire mesh filled with stones which are built across a slope or a gully. The gabion should be heavy enough to resist large volumes of flowing water. Gabions trap the detached soil particles and reduce the speed of water flow. Use of dams and other water reservoirs. A dam is a wall or a barrier built across a river or any other waterway to hold and store water. Water reservoirs reduce the amount of surface water flow by holding excess water, thereby lowering the rate of erosion. Use of cut-off drains. A cut-off drain is a channel erected on the upper part of the farm which collects and diverts water from other areas and discharges it into rivers, artificial waterways, or grounds resistant to soil erosion. A cut-off drain should have an embankment on the lower side of the excavated channel to hold excess water. A cut-off drain trap detaches soil particles and reduces the amount and speed of surface water flow, thereby lowering rate of soil erosion. Water harvesting. Water harvesting is the manipulation of sources of water in order to increase the retention of water. The need to store water arises where there are large quantities of water available which cannot be used immediately. Large amount of water is normally lost through evaporation, transpiration, and majorly through surface runoff if not harvested. Common methods of water harvesting include weirs, ponds, dams, roof catchment, rock catchment, and retention ditches. Identify the uses of microcatchment in a farm from the list below by pressing a button. Microcatchment. A microcatchment is a rainwater harvesting system which involves collecting of runoff water for productive use within the field, that is, seedbed. Types of microcatchment include Negarim microcatchment, contour bands, contour ridges, semicircular bands, trapezoidal bands, contour stone bands, permeable rock dams, and water spreading bands. The laying out and construction of microcatchment involves drawing the required design, marking the area, clearing vegetation, availing the required materials, and then constructing the microcatchment as per the designed plan. Uses of microcatchments in a farm include reducing the speed of surface water runoff in the field, improving the level of water table through increasing the rate of water percolation into the soil, reducing siltation in dams and other water reservoirs, improving water catchment areas, creating suitable microclimate which improves the ecological conditions of an area,